All right.
I say we're good.
Come on.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the only podcast produced by three two-time winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. That's right, you're tuned into the Check Engine Podcast. We're hosted by Anchor.fm, but we are distributed everywhere that streams great podcasts that you want to spend time listening to. My name is Nick. Andrew and Tristan are here. Welcome back to a Friday night recording as per usual, guys.
Heck yeah.
It's Friday, time to party!
Time to podcast is what it is.
Yes. Podcast party.
How you feeling, Tristan?
I'm improving.
Yay!
Which is always good.
Yay, chemistry got you through last time.
It did. It's continuing to improve my existence every day. Thank you.
Thank you to chemists.
Thanks,
Chemists, microbiologists.
You almost broke me right away on the intro there with your with your goddamn air guitar
Squeeing air guitar.
squeeing air guitar solo.
Yeah, see, now we play the intro live, folks, while we to pull the
I
curtain
like
back
it.
a little bit. Oh, I love it. It feels so much better.
You kind of get in a rhythm. You kind of get in a you kind of bump with it a little bit.
yeah,
and
do a
you,
little white people dancing.
yeah,
That's all I do.
white people chair dancing.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about car stuff because a bunch of shit has gone down in the last couple of days.
So much. It's just been a nonstop flood of news since we last podcasted. I mean, there was like a little trickle towards the end of last week, and this whole week has been nothing but story after
Just
story after story.
firehouse.
Yeah, I was just say full bore on the faucet, just
Yeah.
all the way open, everywhere. Cars, like road cars, motorsports, just all over the place.
And so that's what we're going to be tonight, all over the place.
That's where, yeah, probably, probably. This is going to be a one giant pace lap, basically, just discussing news. So, I mean, I feel like there's one place only we got to kick the show off, right? Whether we like it or not.
That sigh indicates our first reference of...
You can't set it up like that.
No, reference
I
of...
want to die.
Well, yeah, or that. Or what are we going to talk about, Andrew?
We're going to talk about my imminent demise,
Oh, okay, excellent.
hopefully. All right, so
And that is due to...
well, okay. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. This morning at the tender time of like 5:15, I awoke.
Big
Gross.
sigh on my end.
Gross.
I awoke innocently, maybe some would say cutely.
No.
From my
no one would say that.
maybe some would say
Serenely, maybe. But not cute.
from my slumber.
Drooly. Slightly disheveled.
Very disheveled. And I grabbed my phone as a man of the 21st century, and I opened Twitter, whereupon my day was immediately ruined
He's been ruined since slightly before 5.
because directly into my eyes
Poured.
poured image after image and tweet after tweet. But by the way, I use a specific Twitter app to avoid the way Twitter's stupid algorithm works. So
Yes.
I only see most recent tweets
Yes, same.
in actual order. And it was nothing but fucking pictures of the fucking Tesla Cybertruck.
SYCY?
I don't know.
I didn't look at the spelling.
It's
I
CY.
don't know. They used some they used some god awful font that just looked like spider writing. They're like, oh, this is what it is, a Cybertruck.
It's like Cyberpunk, the new Cyberpunk game's font.
Yeah, if that game was designed by people with no sensibilities. Anyway, this thing is so ugly and it's so stupid. It's so ugly and it's so dumb, and I hate everything about it. Remember, some people who are car Twitter / car Instagram users will have seen a supposed leak, quote unquote, of the Tesla truck before it came out.
Right.
It's just that. It's that ugly trapezoidal ass sheet metal second grade kids drawing of a car.
It
thing.
looks like something you'd find in Minecraft.
So for the very
No. Minecraft has a really nice aesthetic now. You take that back. Don't shit on Minecraft.
For the very first time in my life, I've looked at a car and went, God, I could draw that. Because I've always been able to draw just basically a box on wheels. And this is even simpler than that.
Yeah, it's so bad. And, well, I mean, for my part, I just have to apologize for anything bad I ever said about Rivian.
Yeah.
I feel bad now. Don't I look like an asshole?
No, I mean, I think the biggest killer for me is not even I guess not killer. It's not a bad thing in my mind. It's hilarious in my mind. Is during that presentation how far the expectations were dialed back. Because, like, you know,
In the process of making the announcements.
freaking Musk was on Twitter for, you know, a year saying, like, this truck will tow 300,000 pounds or whatever he said, some insane number. It's 15,000 pounds.
Okay.
Which is a fair amount, especially
good.
for a truck of that size.
But
Yeah, it's
didn't
good.
Ford
But-
just do $6 million? Some shit.
I don't know. But,
Hasn't been verified, but somewhere around there.
yeah, it's just like,
Well, I think it was supposedly $1 million. I think it was $1 million pounds, right? That the electric Ford did.
yeah,
They did a
something
whole
like
video
that.
and
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
else,
yeah.
you know.
Yep. And it's like, so in a truck about the size of yours, Nick, you can tow about the size of like an F-250 weight-wise. Like, you can tow as much as F-250 could weight-wise, which is commendable for
That's pretty good.
a vehicle that's supposed to tow things. But remember,
I thought he was going for a sound.
it's an electric vehicle. Doing so, you will go 9 miles.
If that.
Like,
Really? Was that the...
No, I mean, just that's comic hyperbole on my part. But the
I
estimated
don't think it is. I think it's accidentally correct.
It's pretty close.
the estimated range in the base model is 250 miles, and the top model is like 500 plus miles.
That's without towing anything.
Right, but that's just the truck.
Yep.
That's the truck toting a payload of batteries. Like, you know,
Right.
only something that big could go that far.
My favorite part was when Musk was trying to talk about how indestructible it was, and how he was like, "This is supposedly bulletproof, and this glass can withstand a gunshot." And he had this guy like throw, I don't even know what it was, a disc of some kind. It might have been a rock from like 6 feet away, and it just shattered.
That was really funny. That was really, really funny. But I got to say, I did not watch any of the conference.
I only watched that moment when the glass broke because it was already a GIF by 8:30 a.m.
Well, I think I actually have Elon Musk muted on Twitterific. I just don't care anymore.
Well, that's good. It's for your better health.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't follow him.
No, but that didn't matter because I follow a lot of automotive journalists. And
Who retweet?
what I should say, okay, it's probably two-part. I don't know if I have him muted, but I did unfollow all of the automotive journalists who spent 95% of their time retweeting Elon Musk at the beginning of this year.
Ah, yes.
And it was a lot of them. It was a lot of y'all. What I'm saying, y'all, they don't listen to this podcast. But
Thanks if you do.
yeah. So anyway, I saw a lot of comparisons. Personally, I think it looks exactly like the horrible Sonic design from the Sonic movie that was it Universal?
Does it have small human teeth?
Conceivably, they look exactly the same to me. They're both horrible representations of whatever they're supposed to be. It also looks exactly like, this is a reference that you two won't get. They're in the music video for a song neither of you will have heard called "New Freezer" by Rich the Kid. There's a Corvette C3 with like a weird kind of triangular / rhomboid body kit on it.
Really?
Yeah, the Tesla looks exactly like that. I'll send you a picture.
Huh.
And more to the point, the reason why the Cybertruck is inarguably bad is because everything about it is the worst version of itself. The name, the look, the concept, all of it is terrible. And the execution.
Yeah, the execution is the glass, for example.
Right.
And what kills me is that, okay, you can call it a truck, like you could call a Chevy Avalanche a truck. Like it has a
Right.
it has a bed, technically people call it a truck, but like it's not classified by anybody who knows anything as a pickup truck, because you can just fit that custom bespoke ATV thing in there,
Yes.
and that's about it.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that
It's a
little
6.5
ATV looks,
foot bed, right?
Yeah,
that what they
I
said?
think you're right. I guess that's not. Is
6.5.
that normal?
It's a longer bed. Mine's 5.
Okay.
For comparison, if you can imagine my truck.
I can.
So
I guess here's what I want. Here's what I want everyone to think about the Cybertruck as: definitive, 100% positive proof that Tesla and Elon Musk don't give a fuck about regular consumers. They've never been marketing to them. They don't care.
they're going for headlines.
Well, this Tesla specifically is for Kanye West and everyone in Calabasas. It's not for anybody else. No one else will buy it. You will not see these in New York. You will not see them in Florida. You will only see them in LA.
Would you see them here?
No. I do not think so. I don't think you'll see one.
But
I feel like you can see them in Chicago.
here's an interesting thing that I compared it to earlier in the day when I was discussing this with some coworkers. Like, we were talking about, like, oh, this is a pickup truck for people who are never going to use it as a pickup truck.
All pickup trucks are that.
Well, at least some of them, some of each one are sold to someone who uses a pickup truck. I know there's a vast majority of people who just drive them daily, but some people do use basically every model of pickup truck.
Yeah, when they help their friend move.
Except the Lincoln Blackwood.
Very true.
Oh yeah.
Very, very
That
true.
is immediately what jumped to mind. They don't look at all similar. That's not why they brought to mind. But just the fact that, like, this is a pickup truck for people who are going to drive. Like, they advertise the fact that you could fit, like, what, 6 people in it or whatever. And it's like, the advertising point of this truck is A, it can tow. Great, okay. And B, it can fit a bunch of people in it. They didn't advertise off-road capability or, a big bed or whatever. It's like, really? So, Lincoln Blackwood.
I just cannot express how much I hate that stupid Tesla.
It's awful.
So let's talk
awful.
about the second thing I saw when I opened Twitter this morning.
After about 90 minutes of scrolling through the Cybertruck shit.
After about, seriously, probably 15 tweets exclusively about the Cybertruck. Let's talk about the Aston Martin truck.
Okay.
Is anyone offended?
No.
All right, that's it then.
No.
That was literally the thing. Like, oh, Aston Martin shouldn't be. All right, no, shut up. All right, everyone is making.
I was going to say,
an SUV.
Aston Martin is just doing what everybody else is doing.
And then there was a bunch.
Did they
of
call it like the Urus killer or something like that?
No. What the hell? I just had it up. I don't remember what it's called offhand, but
It's a DB something, I thought.
a DBX,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, DBX.
I guess the thing that I saw was a bunch of people posting that and the Rolls and the like the concept for the Ferrari and the Lamborghini and the Jag, and they're like, oh, look at all these cars all look the same, and it's like, yeah, they do. And someone posted just
That's only been happening for about 20 years now.
well, yes.
So-
but here's something even more interesting. This blew my mind. There was one guy on Twitter who posted, all those pictures, and then someone responded to him. The guy who posted the original tweet with all the pictures was like, "What are we doing here?" And one guy said, "Bringing back the most popular shape in automobile history before the war." And I went, because he's right.
Yes,
Before World War II,
Yep. Oh
every
my God.
car was the same shape, and they were all the shape that all SUVs are now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was some homegrown realness.
Yeah, they're often not as they're not high,
Right.
but it's that same overall body shape up on stilts. The prototypical, actual original station wagon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle.
Can we have that guy as a guest?
I saved his tweet. I'm sure. Maybe.
I'm sure maybe.
I'm sure maybe.
If he's not blowing mine somewhere else.
Wow. That's awesome.
It is
It's
pretty
so
cool.
true.
It is pretty cool.
I can't get over it.
I'm
I'm
gave
stuck on it
me
now.
a little bit of appreciation for those older cars because I've never really given a shit about them.
Yeah.
We know.
Well, you should.
We've learned that already.
You want to hear a really, really bad idea?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
This is not my idea. This is not my bad idea. This is an bad idea.
From
A company. No, I'm sorry. A startup company. Their technology is for EVs, and their technology is this. Your car, in the event of a runaway battery, will drive itself somewhere so it can explode. The concept for their technology is that your car, with this technology installed, will drive itself somewhere, somehow know that there will be no people around or children, and it will drive itself there autonomously, and then it will blow up.
No.
wait, no, that's they're making the car do this. The company's making the technology that would allow a car to do this.
Correct. They don't do anything else. They don't do anything useful.
But why would you want your car to do that?
I don't know.
Well, so nominally,
Insurance fraud?
No, Nick. No, I think Nick is missing the point.
Urban warfare?
Yeah. So lithium-ion batteries, when damaged, often explode.
True.
Yes.
That is true. So if
Fact.
the battery in your car becomes damaged or is sitting in your garage and overcharges or what have you, this software is supposed to then take it to a safe place and have it explode.
Yes.
So that it's not exploding in your garage,
Indeed.
for example.
What if the garage door's closed?
That's better to have a broken garage door than a blown up garage.
I don't think it would make it through. I remember all the automatic sensors.
Right?
But if it's in panic escape mode,
That's a good point. However, you are correct that this idea seems logical on the face of it.
I thought you were going to say that this IED.
I said idea.
I know, but I thought you said IED, like improvised explosive device.
It's in poor taste, Tristan.
Well, that's what it would be.
Yeah. But no, this concept is reasonable if you do not think about it.
Right. Yeah.
So if you only go as far as Tristan went with it, which everything he said is 100%
Right.
factually
Exactly.
correct.
I'm not saying that that's where you should stop, but that's where they have stopped in their advertising and thought process.
Indeed. So the reason why this is so funny to me, well, there are many reasons, but one of the reasons why this is so funny to me is because all I can picture, really the only quote unquote safe area for a autonomous car that's about to explode. Wait, sorry, just describing it to myself, realized that I thought too far ahead. And an autonomous car that's about to explode, driving itself somewhere itself is really fucking stupid.
It's really dangerous.
But the only truly reliable way to repeatedly extinguish runaway lithium-ion batteries, most fire departments are currently doing that in a giant dumpster full of sand.
Yes.
With another giant pile of sand and a front loader, so they can forklift the car into the dumpster and pour sand on it, because you can't extinguish lithium-ion battery fires with water.
No, and you almost can't extinguish them even with sand.
Right.
You can barely cut off enough oxygen to stop it.
Right.
I've seen this happen.
You have, indeed.
Yes.
On a smaller scale,
Yeah,
admittedly,
with
but
phone
still.
batteries,
Yeah,
and it's still terrifying.
The concept is exactly the same. So now multiply that phone battery times 70 million.
Exactly.
But, okay, so
Have they gathered the location data of every local quarry?
it was either that, or what they will do is build a ramp by a stretch of beach.
And just
Just EVs launching themselves into
the sand.
Into the sand.
You can imagine like a Planet of the Apes scenario, like way, way in the future, like someone's walking on that beach and there's just nosed in EV skeletons.
Tesla henge.
Where did this come from? Who put them there?
Literally, Who did this?
Well, what's the name of the company? Who did it?
You know what? I only screen capped the top of the article because that is how much I cared.
I need to know so I stay away from them.
I promise I will look it up here.
Yeah, post it later, maybe.
Who's got something else?
What about we talk about Hyundai all the time, like actually like pulling through with a concept and making it, like logical people do.
Right.
Mid-engined hatchback sports car. Did you see that?
Of course I saw it. Everybody saw it.
The RM19. Holy shit, man!
Also, shout out to Harry Gottsacker, who has gotten in good with Hyundai and was giving all of the press rides.
Yeah. Totally. Brian Herta's driver.
NIO is the name of the company, by the way.
Got it. Stay away.
Oh, really? I've heard of them.
Have you now?
I don't think they're... Well, they might... I think they're a big Chinese EV company.
Well, let's hope so. Anyways. Yes, I did see all that stuff about Hyundai. I almost don't know what to say anymore. Simply because it seems like... It's getting to the point where I'm now starting to get worried about the avenue that Hyundai will take versus the one that they won't. Because I really, really like the Grappler concept. Obviously, that specific car is never going to happen.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
However, did you see the off-road version of the smaller Kia SUV, not the Telluride?
The Nero?
No. The Sorento.
I did.
Something.
I don't.
Something. Anyways, they did
recall.
a fully kitted out off-road version of that looked amazing, like so good, like production ready. But Kia's already done this before with the Soul. And yes, that is a different arm than Hyundai. They can kind of be considered their own thing. But then there's also all of this N performance stuff that Hyundai wants to do, and they want to expand. You know that there's going to be another N car plus hybridization plus
Totally.
And all of that's fitting under the N umbrella, including this other car. But what if the next thing, or maybe not the next, maybe 3 cars from now, is a Hyundai N-Line mid-engine hybrid supercar? What if it's just like mashed all together in something that everyone would want?
Well, that would just make too much sense, and they got to stop.
No. Plus, mid-engine hatch would be lit.
That's so crazy.
There's a great quote about it in the article that I had read earlier, and it was basically saying that what's his name, Bierman or whatever, the head of the N division.
Yeah.
Quote, doesn't do things just for kicks.
Well,
which is why all this stuff keeps happening.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all amazing. I'm just scared that there's too many options on the table. Or like I said, maybe I'm looking at it wrong and it's all just leading to one thing later.
They're trying a little technology here, a little technology here. They're verifying it works. Okay, we're going to combine it all into this one just ball of Hyundai awesomeness.
That'd be so cool.
I was so fired up. And they put it basically, they debuted it basically in TCR format.
Yes.
Which looks sweet. The diffuser off the back is like almost as long as the car itself.
Yeah, it's
that
pretty
was
sweet.
Mad rear downforce.
Pretty sweet.
Mad rear downforce. Oh, so fired up for that. Tristan.
That look.
The RS6 Avant is coming stateside.
I know.
Have we talked about this already?
We have. I thought we talked about
We
it.
did?
I thought we talked about it when we were discussing your one car for a lifetime.
Yes, I think. Well,
Actually.
and it I think was officially confirmed at that point because I remember all the
Oh, yeah.
Twitter dweebs wetting themselves over a car they're never going to buy.
Well, then never mind. It's old news. 590 plus horsepower.
Yes. As it should be.
Here is a report that it's like warm. It's like a nice whiskey just sliding down my gullet. Edmunds, Edmunds, those people who just do nothing but run car numbers.
Yeah. Usually poorly.
True.
By the way,
not wrong.
Tragically true.
But that's not important right now because
Because they agree with
because this
him.
number is funny.
yeah, because they agree with me. They put out a report on the 17th, which was what last
4 or 5 days ago?
4 or 5 days ago.
6 days ago.
Yeah, just a report on the amount of market share that Ford and Chevy have lost by ditching their small cars.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Let's see here. So, by the way, Jim Hackett at the press conference for the Mustang Mach-E said that it was a new era for Ford. When are you going to get there, Jim? When is a new era? When's it going to get here? When's it not going to be the start of a new era? The hell?
When will we be in the new era? When does it stop starting?
It doesn't. Anyways, so the report is called Shuttered Car Lines.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Talking specifically about two discontinued cars, the Focus and the Cruze. There are 2.7 million Focuses on the road, 1.6 million Cruzes, and there are no replacement. Ford and Chevy's gambit, specifically Ford, who came out and said to their dealers, to their employees, we will not lose customers. We will not. Look at what's that stupid load? The EcoSport?
Yes.
That thing, and the Focus Active that is here and not here.
All right.
Pick a
All
lane,
right,
you
Dracula.
idiot. Anyways, so would you like to know
Yes.
the customer retention for Ford?
Yes.
33%. 45% for Chevy.
Did you say 33 or 43? 43.
45% for Chevy. 33 for Ford, 45 for Chevy.
So that's customer retention. That's not market share. Kind of the same
That
thing.
is customer retention. And through September of this year, 31% of Focus owners bought from a competitor, 23% of Cruze owners. And then the numbers, 41% of Focus owners traded in for a newer Focus and 48.8%. Okay, no, it's so insane.
Stop the slaughter.
It didn't work, guys. It did not work.
Do they have I don't know what the benchmark was. What are they comparing the 33 and 45% to? Like, do they have this number from 2 years ago or something like that? Like,
Yes.
how much of a drop was it?
The drop for Ford was 7% down. So it's 33 and 45 down from 40 and 57.
Oh, wow. So Chevy took a bigger...
Chevy did take a bigger hit overall.
GM took a really big hit there.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Can we go ahead and say we were right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Does that put the nail in that coffin right there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we were right.
However, numerically, and this is another thing that I briefly talked about in the past, because Chevy is keeping a slightly higher percentage, it's not slightly higher, it's about 8% higher. The transactional prices are offsetting the cost of the small car loss for the people who did stay.
So Chevy is kind of pulling out equal.
They're roughly they're not keeping the customers, but they are keeping the money.
Right.
Which is the most important thing.
And Ford isn't keeping either.
Nope.
I mean, you'd have to make good stuff.
But
Biting analysis from our producer.
it's the start of a new era at Ford.
Never stop starting.
Never stop, never starting.
Ford. Never stop,
stop.
never starting.
Never start starting. How about that?
So I'm just looking a little bit through. So those are the most stunning numbers. Other entertaining figures. So the Escape Compact has become the top pick for people who do stay at Ford, with a grand total of 9.5%. And the EcoSport is 6.2%. The majority of buyers are still opting for something from another brand. Wah, wah.
You have that sound now.
And Cruze buyers are trading in mostly for newer Cruzes, 10.3%.
Wow.
I know one that won't be getting another cruise.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it didn't work.
Didn't work.
We said it wasn't going to work, and it already has not worked.
It's going to continue not working, and it will probably, in fact, get worse.
That is what I believe.
Because you're not going to even have new versions of those to trade into later. So then you're really going to lose them.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So-
So if you can't get a new Focus, these people who are trading it in, if you can't get a new Cruise,
They're going to go buy a Hyundai or a Kia probably, or a
Toyota
Subaru.
or a Honda, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just going to buy a car. That's the thing.
It's the proof that the brand. I mean, there's a lot of brand loyalty. I guess the brand loyalty is still there, but I think especially younger generations, it's not about the brand; it's about the type of vehicle.
Yeah.
Like if they want a small hatchback, they're going to find one, whether it's yours or not. So you might want to make one.
And perversely, as much as I made fun of it, there might actually be something to what the Nissan exec was saying, whatever it was, a couple of weeks ago.
The tattooed middle finger to the world is the sedan.
Not in so many words, but we could already be seeing, is it backlash or just the results of the decision to discontinue SUVs? Whatever that is, whatever the follow-up is to that
Discontinued
decision.
cars, not SUVs.
So yeah. Discontinuing cars and replacing them with SUVs. We're already
Yes.
seeing the result of that decision, which looks a lot like backlash at these percentage points.
I think there's a little bit of both. I think there's a certain amount of. I've actually heard this from a couple of our interns, actually, younger people than even myself, because I'm so young and spry. But saying like, oh no, I bought this guy bought a Camry
Okay.
because he's like, oh yeah, I didn't want to buy. It's like, you didn't buy a RAV4 or anything else. It's like, no man, those like my parents drive those. Like,
Yeah, yes.
so that's I think we're already seeing the fact that like it used to be like, grandparents would buy like the big Buick sedans.
Yes.
And parents taking kids to activities bought minivans, and that killed minivans for regular people.
Dead. Killed him dead.
And now it's happening to crossovers.
I actually think about that a lot offhandedly because I don't know what it means that when the minivan was just exploding in popularity, no brand went all in on vans. Like no one made small vans. Actually, let me correct that.
Small vans, big vans.
No one in America
Right.
made a range of vans that went from the compact up to they were equivalent to like a full size.
Yeah.
And really that's only like a range of
Every
two.
every brand made an minivan
Yes.
and an utility van
Or
of some kind.
some of the kinkier brands made a small one that they sold only in Europe, a big one they sold here, and then a commercial van.
Yes.
So why not though? Why did no one like jump in on the vans?
Like crossovers. I mean, I think GM, just Chevy, actually has like 5.
Yes.
Like why not all different size minivans?
right.
Maybe they're only so useful up to a point. Maybe on the size down. Like I could see like compact ones only going so small. So why bother?
That's that
Like they
Yes.
do them in Europe because they bother because the streets are literally smaller.
Right.
But in America, it's like why not just sell the one that's this size because it's fine.
yeah.
Like, why roll it out? I don't know.
I have that question about the new Hyundai Venue, the SUV that's smaller than my wife's Kona, which is a small car.
Yes. Yes.
That car has, which I knew, it has less space in the back, less space in the trunk than her old car, whatever. All that's bullshit. Nick, directly related to what Tristan said, he transitioned just really well. The Trailblazer is back!
Boo.
And it looks like a Nissan Juke.
Yes, it
Because
does.
of course it does. Nissan, you really fucked the dog on not keeping that Juke around. They were leading in design. They were leading in size. They were leading
once,
the field.
for
Sales and everything else.
For once, they were leading in something.
And they didn't do any. They had no follow-up.
The no follow up, and not only like we know Nissan often doesn't have follow up, but they also didn't just keep producing it for
They
20
just-
years
yeah, they
either.
just didn't do it.
They're just like, we're done with the best selling thing we've ever made. We can just stop.
When I first saw the name, I saw the little headline on the scroll. I'm like, the nostalgia feels hit me a little bit. I'm like, uh-oh.
And then you saw it.
And then I saw it, I went, it's
Why?
just awful.
It looks like It looks like it needs to look.
It's a Camaro on the front and a Juke on the back. It looks awful.
I think the front is all juke too, honestly, or at least a Hyundai Kona. It's just that's how those cars look now. That's it. That's the only.
know, and they look
design.
terrible.
It's the only design.
I know, and they look awful.
That was another thing I was right about, by the way. But
Yeah, totally. I'm not disputing the fact that you were right. I'm just saying I hate it.
you pulled something up. But get us out of this SUV talk. It's drab and boring, and I hate it.
Save me.
Yeah, this is the opposite of that. This is breaking news from literally 58 minutes ago. This was posted. Yeah, we should have the news bulletin thing.
Yeah, news ticker.
Source from a senior GM official: the ZR1 trim on the C8 Corvette to get a hybrid twin turbo dual overhead cam V8 with 900 horsepower.
Oh yes, Daddy.
I need one of those.
Wow.
Let's see here. The ZR1 will build on the Z06 all new engine with the performance (parentheses not fuel economy) oriented hybrid system to fill in torque gaps and increase total output to an even 900 horsepower.
Damn.
Here's something that's very interesting to me. The somewhat small frunk in the base C8 Stingray is protecting space for a pair of front-mounted electric motors, which can both increase performance and, more critically, perform active torque vectoring to complement the rear axle's electronically controlled limited slit diff.
Ooh.
First of a kind all-wheel drive ZR1 would see major benefits.
Oh God!
Major benefits in handling and the ability to put down power while exiting corners. It's been employed in great effect on hybrid supercars like the Porsche 918. All-wheel drive, 900 horsepower hybrid.
Sorry. And can it be driven with an erection?
I was just gonna say, does anybody else have a chubby?
So come on, Nick.
You heard me.
Come on.
I finished.
Just say it. Just say you're back in. Come here. It's okay.
No, I'm not back in.
I'll go get the flag right now.
Nope, you can keep it.
Come here.
Nope.
Come here.
No.
Do we have full track times for the Z51 yet? I don't think so.
I haven't seen anything.
I'm just waiting, man. I need to know if the NSX call was correct. I need to know.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
I think it has to be at this point. They're a dead heat in every number that's been released so far. I mean, dead heat, like hundredths of a second difference.
Yep.
And with
Except for the price.
well, yeah. Well, no, hundredths of a second in 0 to 60,
Yes.
in 0 to 100.
Yep.
Well, that's not true. The Corvette demolishes the NSX in braking distance.
Yeah, that's true.
It just destroyed it. But quarter mile, even quarter mile speed, I mean, they're so close. And the tantalizing niblet about that is none of that makes a difference on a track. Somebody lap it, please.
Lap them both back to back.
Well, we already have times for the NSX on most of the automotive test tracks in the country.
Right, but truest form would be same day, back to back, same conditions,
Same driver.
same
Super
driver.
true. But remember, no one so far in the mainstream media is making any comparison between the NSX and the C8.
No. Why not?
Which is idiotic.
Yeah, why not?
Because to most people, that is a Japanese car. Acura is a Japanese brand. The NSX is a Japanese
Doesn't
car.
matter though. That's always been like, oh, look at the Japanese doing it better than the Americans. Like, there's always been a comparison, even if they're not the same car. The whole point that it's a Japanese car that does this is that it does it better than the Americans.
But on the
blah, blah.
face of it, it is a bad comparison, namely because of the price point, but also because different brands. I mean, again, and in my view, my whole argument about that thing was, well, the NSX isn't a Japanese car. That's an American car. It's built in
Right.
Ohio. Acura's forming their whole brand reformation around that car, that plant, and Mid-Ohio. That's an American car.
The money goes back to
Well,
Japan.
and it's not the first time that, like, car literature websites, magazines have, or potentially would compare cars that have, no business being compared. Like,
Right.
we've complained about that before. They do it all the time.
It's true. They always compare the GTI and the WRX.
Why
Stop.
not this one?
Yeah. Someone will. I do believe that. But I just need to know 900 horsepower in an all-wheel drive mid-engine Corvette.
weird that transitions me to not necessarily a news thing, but just a question I have for you guys. We were discussing this at work today. All-wheel drive, or not, I guess, but in this state, you'd be insane not to. But all-wheel drive, performance cars. If you were to see somebody driving their 911 4S
Yeah.
or their R8 or a potential all-wheel drive C8,
Sure.
which we know would not be full-time all-wheel drive, but should, for example, the rear axle start slipping in the snow, I'm sure they would utilize the motors to get it moving, whatever.
Right.
If you saw somebody driving one of those around in the middle of winter, would you be like, gasp, why are you driving that around in the winter? Or would you be like, bro, respect
I
for
have
driving
two.
that
I
around
have
in
two
the winter?
answers. The first one is right when the V8 R8 came out. Somehow, some way, there was a guy in Dousman who owned one.
Yep.
He drove in
I've
the winter.
seen that, yes.
However, if I were to see anybody in a 911 4S driving that shit in the winter, I would park my car, get out, and salute them. Because I've never fucking seen that shit ever.
Right, so good.
Yeah. I don't know.
They should.
I agree. That's my take on it. Spoiler, and we'll hear your vote as well. But because I just said it, might as well finish it. My vote is that if you have specifically done something like buy an all-wheel drive car, take it out in the winter.
Yeah.
It wants to be out there.
I think my first reaction, just upon seeing the silhouette, would be, what are they thinking? Like, if it's from a distance, I'm like, is that a fucking 911 on a winter? Why are they? And then if you get close and you see the badge and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's the all-wheel drive one. He's fine. There's still something in me a little bit where, like, if you pay over a certain amount for a car, it doesn't belong out in winter. Just because, just in
But
the
have
elements like that.
SUVs not just blown that out of the water completely?
They're not sports cars either.
Yeah,
but that dollar value is really high.
that's what I was gonna say, and they're twice as much in some cases as I guess you don't count a WRX or an STI, right? We're talking about that next tier, that 60
Yeah.
to 70
No,
tier.
I've made jokes about people who, like, for example, I don't know if you listen or not, Eugene, but what's
up, Eugene?
He
Dachshund.
lived here, and he moved to Florida, and I told him he has the saddest WRX STI in the history of man because it has gotten to taste snow, and now will never do so again,
True.
But you
And
can
that-
drive it in hurricanes.
and that makes it very
They
sad.
got mountains in Florida.
Okay, no, Nick, and also no, because I do heartily I would love to heartily dissuade anybody from driving their vehicle in ocean water.
Yes.
Snow bad, ocean water worse.
Yeah, really.
It's a really good
bad.
point, actually.
Yeah.
I washed my Jeep 4 times when I got back from North Carolina because I had to drive it over like a small storm surge.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, oh well, I've just ruined this. Unless I went to like a pay your own, like do your own car wash.
Yeah.
And didn't wash the top that had already gotten rained on.
Mm-hmm.
I spent the entire 3 or 4 wash cycles that I purchased just spraying the underside of that car.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get ruined. So don't drive your WRX in a hurricane and show me a Florida mountain that's more than a garbage heap. I'm sure they have landfills, but that's not really a mountain. Ask Olympia.
What about Tallahassee? Aren't there hills in Tallahassee?
Hills, maybe. Not mountains.
No, I think that there are no mountains in Florida, but I can't confirm. And I also think that more people with like a daily driver class Porsche should drive it in the winter. However, obviously no one's taking those cars out on the road when they're actively salting. But there are so many other days in the winter.
Yes.
I think you should do it. I think they should do it.
Yeah.
Especially because like I was trying to say before. Okay, yes. The Cayenne was made for off-roading. Was it
To
made
a
for
certain extent.
A little bit.
was
yeah.
made for
Range
four-wheel
Rovers
driving?
certainly were.
Well, okay, but that's almost its entirely own. That's almost its own fetish.
We talk about cost, though.
That's a really good
That's-
point.
yeah.
But I'm just thinking about all of this new influx of like the Lamborghinis and Ferraris. I mean, how much are this? 150, 200,000?
For the
for the Urus.
Urus.
I mean-
Something like that.
How much is how much is a 4S? I don't even know.
The 90-ish. Whoa. It's a lot. Because you have to have it be the 911. That's like the S.
Oh,
Like
right.
You don't
of
get it on like the
course.
base model.
You can get a Carrera 4.
You can get a Carrera 4. Yes.
Let's call it 85,000.
Yeah.
Let's 85,000. I think you got to at least do it once, right? At least once a winter. Get
Maybe
it out
just-
there and
Just take it out on a lake.
Drive across the ice.
Ooh, that would be so cool.
Oh, haha! I looked it up. Carrera 4, not even Carrera 4S, $104,700.
Why?
Cause it's 4.
It's got 4 of them.
I don't know, but
So for some reason, 100 makes it harder to swallow.
Yeah.
Taking that car up makes it harder to swallow.
just buy
Right.
used
There
one.
seems like there's like a Mendoza line where like if you pay more than this, like you shouldn't drive it in the winter.
Does anybody disagree with it? Anything under 90?
What about R8 though?
But see, I like that car more. I want that car.
I want to see more of that car.
And I have already seen that car driving in the winter. So
Right.
in my mind, visually, it makes sense. The 911's harder. Plus, 911 owners are notoriously zero fun at all times.
Therefore, you buy a
Don't look at me.
What do you?
Well, yeah. Don't,
Cayman.
Oh God! Not this. I don't think they make that in 4-wheel drive. Moving on.
Anyway.
Let's talk about some racing.
Yeah, a lot of shit happened in the last couple of days.
And let's talk about how everyone made fun of me for talking about Roger Penske's Ruby Mines.
It's getting better. This is getting more, not just a truck full. He owns the mines now.
I mean, he has to at this point, right? What I'm referencing for people who don't follow our Twitter account at Check Engine Pod, there are rumors.
That Roger Penske owns a ruby mine.
That's what I took.
I
from
almost said ruby mill, which is not a thing.
That's what I took from the story. There are rumors, but they seem past the rumor stage. It seems like a substantiated claim or something like that, because it's not just like something that could be out there in the ether. There's very specific story that Roger Penske is looking to buy the most successful F1 team of the past
Ever.
20 years.
At least the past 10.
He wants to buy AMG Petronas.
Well,
Well, it wouldn't be Petronas. What would it be?
so
AMG Penske.
it would be Penske Petronas.
Yeah.
The
It
AMG would be gone.
That's right.
So two things here. One, about the timing of the purchase. F1 is still dialing in the sweeping regulation changes for 2021.
Right.
And a lot of these teams, specifically the manufacturer-driven teams, haven't yet committed to that because they're not sure if it, parallels what they're doing with their road cars and all that kind of stuff. So
It doesn't.
not really.
Never.
So the idea is, in 2021, if one of these teams, like AMG Mercedes, wants to back out as a full-blown F1 manufacturer and the team goes up for sale, Penske would be the one to buy it in 2021.
Gotcha.
If
You
they
got to have time to mine those rubies.
That's right.
so that's point number one. Point number two, Roger has categorically denied it. They asked him about it already,
I'm sure he has.
and that doesn't really mean anything. I'm
No.
just thought we'd put it out there for people that they have come out and said no, that is unsubstantiated.
And also, he doesn't own Ruby Mines, you guys. But-
Totally doesn't own any.
no, he owns a few of those.
Ignore the trucks full of rubies.
That's right. That's right. Those don't exist.
So yeah,
I want this to happen so bad.
I think it'd be pretty sweet.
I really, really want it to happen. Just because. Well, first of all, just because I would think I would find it so funny if this is the thing. Because when is the Miami race supposed to enter the schedule? 2021? Fuck that. I think it would be so hilarious and good for F1 to put that at Indy. And who owns Indy now?
Roger Ruby's Penske.
It is Roger Ruby's. And who owns the media company at Indy?
Roger Penske.
Roger Penske. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, and of course, F1 being the most popular international motorsport.
By far, the
Yes.
the second most popular sport, period, in the world behind soccer.
Right. And I mean,
Which blows my mind.
Yeah.
By the sidebar.
that's an insane
boring.
amount of, money is what that boils down
Yes.
to. I'm just saying, a second race of theoretically the magnitude of Indy at Indy, all under one guy. How can you not at least entertain? How can you not at least have made a phone call? If you're Roger Penske and you have this media empire, this racing empire with an unbelievable recent track record of success, how can you not even just make a call to see, like, what manufacturers are kind of looking askance at F1 right now for 2021, even if that's the call that was made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and who's to say he didn't make that call?
Exactly. It doesn't have to be anything more solid than that. I think he'd kind of be a fool to not have made some sort of call about this, because that all lines up way too perfectly with a vision for F1, who wants to get more visibility in America, and a vision for Indy. We know Roger Penske's not going to sit pat with the Indy 500 being the biggest event at Indy.
Well, it's always going to be the biggest event, not the only.
Right, of
He's going to
course.
do more stuff.
And, if something...
Besides just the boring-ass NASCAR races they try to do there.
Right. And if something like F1 were to go there, I mean, we're talking about we could potentially be talking about a whole different stratosphere of event in Indy, just because of the popularity of that sport and the star power of F1. Honestly, I think he would have had to at least have the thought. You know what I mean? It just seems too logical.
Oh, yeah. When they're sitting around the initial first couple of meetings here after they made the purchase announcement and they're in that boardroom, like, okay, let's pull up the hierarchy of things ideas, and let's just start throwing some things around. Guarantee you F1 was up on that board somewhere. How high up on the list was it? Don't know.
Yeah.
But at some point it was mentioned in those meetings.
I think so.
I would think so.
And it would just be so funny if after all this yes, no, maybe, maybe not, if Miami got screwed out of a F1 race because it went to Indy. That'd be so funny to me. I just wish there was like some sort of like recorded tension between Penske and someone in Florida, just to like add that personal element.
It's the owner of the Dolphins.
Stephen Ross.
He needs
Yeah, Ross.
something.
Stephen Ross.
Cheer him
whatever
up.
his name is. Yeah, something.
It's Ross that's trying to, because initially the race in Miami was proposed for downtown, and that got vetoed.
That was a garbage track, by the
That
way.
was terrible. It was like two really long straightaways over a bridge.
Yeah, it was appalling.
Yeah, it was awful. But then Stephen Ross came in and said, well, you can just race it on my property, just around all the stadiums. So, and then people are like, oh, we can do it there. And then other people are like, so the greatest form of motorsport in the world is just going to race in parking lots now? Like,
Yeah, that's gonna be.
like is that really a good look?
I don't know. I really don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know either.
You could literally say, like, you were thrown out onto the street if you're racing on a street.
I suppose, but
I guess
then again, like,
there's a lot of history there. Monaco is on the street.
yes, but that's
But-
so different. Do not
Right.
do the Miami Monaco comparison.
No, I won't. That's what I'm saying. That's what the counter argument will be.
Well, what is it is Sochi a track?
Sochi is temporary, but they're not like public streets, I don't think. It's just like paths through the Olympic Park.
So parking lots.
Yeah, you know what? It may be.
It may be.
It may be. Anyways, even if it's just rumors, even if the whole thing is fake, I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I had mentioned boring ass NASCAR. So there's some big boring ass NASCAR news in the past couple of days.
Hit me.
The best driver of this generation of boring ass NASCAR, the guy who drove the boring ass best, Jimmy Johnson announced that 2020 will be his last year of professional full-time racing.
Okay.
The 7-time champ, 83 wins, the longest championship streak outside of Formula One in history. Five in a row, 2006 through 2010. He announced that next year, his 19th full season is going to be his last full-time season.
Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Oh, I mean, if Bill Elliott got in,
Okay, where is the NASCAR Hall of Fame, genuinely?
Charlotte.
Oh, fuck, I don't want to go to Charlotte. I was going to say we should go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, but I don't want to go there.
We could go to Biscuit World.
Let's think about that.
Almost got him with Biscuit World.
Let's circle back.
Let's think about this. I have a vested interest in the NASCAR Hall of Fame simply because I don't know what it takes to get in there. But
There's probably an admission price online.
Can we turn his mic off?
No.
Or just unplug it?
he has the board. We keep saying we need to change this.
But
He
I
has
have
the
longer
board.
arms than he does.
Yeah, but it's closer to me on purpose because I have T-Rex arms.
I mean, obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. That is kind of amazing. I did not realize any of his accomplishments.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
I didn't realize anything about him really.
Well, that's what I was
one of the
going to
things.
say.
That's one of the things, though. He's not a polarizing figure. He's not a Kyle Busch who gets people to hate him. Like that's what all the stuff I was reading was. He's the guy that would like, even if he did get blatantly wrecked, he's not going to go back and try to dump that guy. He's gonna beat that person cleanly, gonna pass him clean, run away, and just win the race. Like
Yeah.
that's how he does his business. He was, for as fierce as a competitor he was, saying like he was, like he's dead. He's not. As fierce of a competitor as he is, they said he is just that much of a humble, nicer guy. And like the thing that they're gonna remember about it most is that he did it, quote, the right way.
Oh, God.
So, he's been on a pretty long winless drought right now. I think it's been since 2017 since he's won a race. So
Okay.
two full seasons now. 2+ full seasons. So I mean, I hope he gives it a good show in his last ride here.
Sorry, it's going the Brett Favre retirement route. I respect it.
And if he does manage to win a championship in his last year, it will be the all-time record for NASCAR. He'll break Richard Petty and Earnhardt's record of 7 championships.
Wow.
So he'll get 8. He's tied with him right now.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Seems unlikely, but that would still be pretty cool. Does Jimmy Johnson have a nickname besides not that one?
Well, when he started racking up championships, they started calling him like the number of champions. So like when he won the 5 in a row, his nickname was 5-time.
Okay.
So now actually so every time he won another one, so now he's called 7-time. Like that's just what they call him.
I respect it.
Clever.
Yeah.
It's basic, but I respect it.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like a guy who'd push for a nickname.
Yeah. So best of luck, Jimmy.
Jimmy 7 rings. Do you get a ring when you win a national championship?
Yeah, I think you do.
Jimmy 7 rings.
Jimmy 7 rings. How many does Brady have? 5?
6.
6?
Tommy's
Suck
6
it, Tom.
rings. So, yeah, so far until he wins again this year. Thanks,
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, probably. So biggest name in NASCAR is on his way out.
Speaking of NASCAR and Kyle Busch, your very favorite driver of all time, Nick.
That end of the cup sounded hilarious.
Guess who's coming to IMSA?
Yeah, he's running the Rolex 24.
He is running the Rolex 24.
He's running
I
one of
was
those-
shocked.
How many people is he going to wreck?
The field?
If he drives like NASCAR, yeah.
The first full field wreck in streetcar.
100% DNF.
God.
Hopefully he'll remember to brake after the start-finish line and turn into the infield. It's just rolling down to the first corner.
What?
Must have
Why?
never
Why is he
kicked in.
doing this?
Well, Lexus is a Toyota company. He races for Toyota.
Shit.
So,
didn't
hey,
even-
throw the guy a bone.
I didn't even see it, man. I didn't even see it.
Throw the guy a bone. Let him run a Lexus as a Toyota driver.
TRD.
TRD. Yep. That's why.
Damn. And I guess name recognition is
Hey,
good
bip, 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 bip.
for IMSA. Still,
Yeah, it'll be great. I mean, and the Rolex, being the only one of only 2 races in January. Like most of these guys, their full season commitments haven't started yet. So like the Rolex gets a lot of drivers. Like Jimmy Johnson, who we just talked about, has raced it a couple times. Countless IndyCar drivers, Dixon, Bourdais, Rahal, Pagenaud, like they all will jump in as one of those 3rd or 4th drivers in a car and run these. So it's not uncommon for guys from other series to come run it. So I'll be interested to see how he does, because he is, as much as I don't like him, he is one of the most naturally gifted drivers in any series I've ever witnessed.
Well, that's cool.
So we'll see how it translates to a legit road course car, which he's never driven before. But I would like to see how well he adapts.
2 questions based on the Toyota NASCAR thing. Are all Toyota NASCARs the Supra now?
No, the Cup car is still a Camry.
Okay. Right, yeah.
Supra is Xfinity. Cup is Camry.
Right, you are. So semi-related to that, something for a future episode. I realized the other day while I was watching, who knows, what race was last weekend? Something EcoBoost 400.
Yeah, it was the championship race for Cup.
Yeah,
The
EcoBoost 400.
that Kyle Busch won.
Yep. I got on the treadmill and realized there were 20 full minutes of patriotism before anything happened on track. Anyways, my thought was this. My question is this, something we're going to have to research in order to talk about. Is the Camry the coolest looking NASCAR face year to year since its inception?
Just like the nose piece.
Yeah, because,
Yeah.
Because,
Since
you know.
since it
since
first came
the
out.
Camry entered,
Okay.
is it
Ooh.
the coolest across, since it came into the series? Obviously, we can't answer that now, but something I'm interested in simply because it looks really cool right now, like super cool, especially compared to the frumpy faces on the other one. Like it actually looks like a car that could be that size, and it looks very cool.
Yeah, it's proportioned better than like the Mustang is.
Mm-hmm.
Which looks weird.
Super weird. I hate it.
I feel like something's wrong with my TV.
I know exactly what you mean.
Why is this all distorted?
Yeah, like
Like it's booted in 16 by 10.
Yeah, what is this? Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
do not adjust your television sets.
I have a question for you, Nick, as we continue to talk about motorsports here.
Okay.
Meyer Shank
Yes.
won the DPI Manufacturer Team and Driver Championship.
They did not.
According to this, they did. Acura Team Penske 2019 DPI Manufacturers Team and Drivers
Team
Championship.
Penske, not Meyer Shank.
No, Meyer Shank GTD Team
Yes,
and
the
Drivers.
the NSX Evo.
Right.
Team.
Yes.
Wrong one.
Yes.
Wrong one.
Yep.
So that was only the pink car?
Yes, the pink AutoNation car.
But the Heinrecker Racing Team didn't contribute to the
Well, they contributed to the team championship.
to the team championship.
To the team championship. Yes. Well, no, because
Are you
no,
sure?
No, because they classify a team as like a car number. So the
Really?
86 car won the team champ.
So it's not like team championships in other racing.
Correct. So what?
Are you sure?
Yeah. What the Heinricher car contributed to was the manufacturer championship
which
in
they
that class,
didn't win.
which is the Honda
Yes.
Acura winning the manufacturer championship.
Oh, okay.
So there's driver, there's team, which is just like the car,
Right.
and then there's
Constructor.
manufacturer or constructor championship.
Gotcha. Okay. I wasn't sure because I was looking at this, and the three of us were talking briefly about the fact that none of us have heard anything about Heinrecker Racing, and in fact,
I have heard some stuff.
He's heard something now. Okay.
I have heard
Nick, give
some
us the
stuff.
update.
Updates.
So I mentioned to you guys that both full-time and one of the endurance drivers, two of which we met in our interview this past year, so Catherine Legg, Christina Nielsen, who we didn't get to meet, and Bia Figueiredo, are going to Grasser Racing, which is an Austrian team that runs Lamborghinis.
And
they're running
GTD.
they're same class, same category, and they're running full-time in IMSA next year for that team. And the program is called GEAR, which is Girls Empowerment Around Racing.
Hate that name.
It belongs in Nebraska on our scale.
Yeah, that's not cool. It's very corny.
Right.
But-
I appreciate the goal, but not
But the goal is the same as what
Same goal.
Heinricher was.
Very admirable.
So it's basically a new Jackie Heinricher, like a new woman leadership role. Kara Kinney, maybe I think her name is Kara
Kind of
Kinney.
a cool name.
And she put the whole thing together and contacted Catherine, like basically just like Heinricher did. So, again, yeah, same goal, same overall objective, just a new team behind it, same drivers. Spoke to Mike Shank about it, not me personally.
I was like, dude.
talking to Mr. Shank.
They, Racer.com people, reached out to Shank about it, and he said, for sure, he is going to have 2 Acuras on the grid next year. They're just not ready to. They announced the first one, the pink and
Right.
the
They're
86
coming
car
back.
is actually Hinman's out of that car
that's right.
because they bumped his driver rating up so it doesn't fit the requirements anymore. So they had to let him go.
Oh,
Grew out of
gotcha.
it.
He honestly, God, he did.
Raced out of it.
Yeah, he did. He fucking awesome.
That's what he did.
So the 86 car will be back with one of the returning drivers, Farnbacher, and then a new guy stepping in. What happened was Caterpillar pulled out.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Caterpillar pulled out after 1 year. It was supposed to be a 2-year program, and they reneged.
Damn.
So Heinricher is back to trying to find funding, and it was just getting too late in the game where, the drivers had to do something, had to get something locked up for next year. So that's what Shank said. He's like, it's no hard feelings. We get it's a business. We just couldn't provide something for them in time. So he is still working with Heinricher on something. It's either going to be that second NSX, or the other rumor is they're going to try to step up to P2
Wow.
and do a Heinricher Shank prototype.
That'd be cool.
Not the DPI with the manufacturer
Right,
stuff,
right.
but the spec.
Yeah.
Because that's got a new regulation now where a bronze driver has to be in it. It's a definite pro-am
So that'd be
category.
what,
now.
Orica and...
Yeah, dude, the Orica. And,
Ligier
and they figured one of the reasons why Caterpillar backed out is because they got snubbed at Le Mans. If you remember, that whole all-women's team entered a prototype to entry at Le Mans, and the
Yes.
ACO snubbed them.
That's right.
That was supposed to be fully backed by Caterpillar. And if that's really is the reason, that's kind of bullshit on Caterpillar's part, because the team has no bearing over that. Like
Well,
they apply
yeah,
for the
that's
entry and they wait to get picked.
That's true.
And the ACO is random as fuck
But
picking
it could have
those.
been part of the contract. Well, here's what I know. I mean, we only met with Jackie very briefly. She's going to get it done.
She's gonna
fully believe
she's
that.
going to figure out a way
Yeah,
to get
there's-
something done.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that something.
Is she going to have the women drivers to do it though, or is she just going to have to put drivers in the car to
I
do
think
it?
she might end up putting drivers in the car. I wouldn't be surprised if, just because of the way she presented herself in the interview, it's my belief that she finds it personally important to put female drivers.
Oh, totally.
in. I feel like that's sort of a mission for her. That said, I think that she's a strong enough team leader that it wouldn't necessarily, in terms of results, matter. I mean, another bummer about Cat pulling out is they just had some bum luck. They had great pace in these races. They were consistently top 10, top 8, top 5 in most of the races they were running.
Earlier on in the season, both of those cars, the 2 Acuras were 2 of the top 4 or 5 consistently.
Yeah,
But then
exactly.
the BOP monster came back
another
around
part too.
So like the second half of the year from Road America on, they were just kind of doing the best they could and trying to manage that points gap that they had built up.
Yeah.
So
And that's when you started seeing, I mean, just that yellow car just kept getting wrecked, or they caught damage. You know what I mean? From someone else. They just had
cut a tire.
Yeah, they
like
just
ran
had
over someone else's debris,
bad
like a shard
luck.
of carbon fiber.
Yeah.
and cut a tire.
It's just a bummer to see, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
They'll be back. I have all the confidence in the world.
Drivers are just somewhere else, but I think Heinricher is Jackie will figure out a way.
Yeah, definitely.
So, hope to see you back, Jackie. We'll be back at Road America again. So,
Yeah, we're still keeping the eye out for Indy too. Don't
Oh,
worry,
yeah.
we didn't
Ooh.
forget.
oh yeah, by the way, her business partner just entered a full-time IndyCar too.
Oh shit,
Michael Shank is full-time in IndyCar next year.
That's awesome.
So,
We're watching.
Hey,
Let's see it.
the pipeline is there.
Yeah.
The pipeline is there.
Oh, man, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. So, there you have it.
You've been kind of quiet over there, Tristan.
I have been.
You got something?
No, I'm just.
I have nothing to contribute. I'm just
No, I
hanging out.
mean, I'm listening. You guys are saying most of it. I mean, Andrew beat me to the punch of, I think that there's not a question that she will find a way to get that team back on the track. I don't have any doubts about that.
Yeah.
That was my biggest takeaway. I didn't have details as to where the other drivers had gone beyond, the gear. We had talked about that beforehand, but I didn't know anything else about if they were going to, because they had that huge stable of drivers. She preferred, Bia and Catherine Legg,
Yeah.
and Christina Nielsen were kind of her heavy hitters, but they had other people that drove occasionally. I'm wondering if there's going to be a way to
Bring them
in more for more time each,
Yeah.
and still get on the track. So
Let's hope. She'll find something. Definitely.
She'll figure it out.
Do you guys want to harshly judge
Always.
some award winners?
Yes.
it's like, no matter what it is, I want to harshly judge it.
So Kelly's Blue Book, which is now an advertising site. I don't really know what they do anymore. They have announced their 2020 Best Buy award winners.
Per category or how's
Per
this
category.
All
I
right.
did not know they had awards at all. I don't know if
I think it's new. I think like they did it to compete, quote unquote, with JD Power.
That was what I said. I don't know if that's true. I suspect that it is in many ways true simply because of what I've seen KBB do since they were bought by this or sold to this new ownership group. They've become functionally SEO and advertising.
Yep.
That's kind of all they are. They used to list car values. Now they don't so much do that as they do spam you. Anyways, so this is by car category. Their winners: compact car, Honda Civic; midsize car, Honda Accord; subcompact SUV, Hyundai Kona; compact SUV, CRV; midsize 2-row Santa Fe; midsize 3-row Telluride.
The first one that doesn't start with H.
Yeah.
They're all Hondas.
Hondas or Hyundais.
Indeed. Full-size SUV Expedition.
There you go.
Midsize pickup Colorado.
Hey!
On the board.
Driving an award winner, Nick.
You betcha.
Minivan.
I know how to pick them.
Honda Odyssey. They still make. That's a thing.
Wow. Okay.
Pickup F-150 electric.
No supply.
Hyundai Kona electric.
Kona wins twice.
Yeah. Plug-in hybrid Honda Clarity. Subcompact luxury Audi Q3. Subcompact luxury SUV. Compact luxury Q5. Midsize luxury X5. Luxury car Lexus ES.
Whoa.
They couldn't find anything better than a.
Wait, this is Best Buy, right? So this is best for your money. So
Yeah.
Good call.
so
It
bang,
is
so bang for your buck.
models with the best value in each category and a best overall new model, the Telluride.
Really?
Yeah.
People love that thing. That's what I was saying. It's been well reviewed, and I know 2 people who purchased them, and they love it.
Really?
Love it.
Adore it? Love it?
Like traded. They went and test drove one just because they paid the penalty on their lease and traded in their under lease Volkswagen Atlas,
Jesus.
and was like, nope, I want this instead. Like,
Wow. Okay.
Damn.
yeah, one of them traded in a lease on an Atlas for a Telluride.
Oh, here's the deeper explanation as to why I think they did this to compete with JD Power. The Best Buy Awards are intended to help shoppers identify models with the best combination of quality, safety, comfort, driving dynamics, dependability, low cost of ownership, and affordability. I mean, come
So
on.
do the manufacturers have to pay to get considered like a JD Power?
I have no idea, but maybe. I wouldn't be too surprised, honestly.
I mean, the only one on the list that really caught me off guard, well, 2 of them. So the Hyundai Kona appearing twice for an
Yeah.
electric. And then at first, first hearing it, the Lexus, but then when you think of best for the money,
Cost of ownership.
Yeah, cost of ownership thing.
But even the ES, wouldn't the Avalon be a better value? Or
Is that considered luxury?
It's probably not, is it? It's probably a full size.
Yeah, just even though it's Toyota's luxury car, it's not a luxury brand.
Right.
Even so, it just seems like a really lame pick, specifically because I just sort of in passing, not that I search out reviews for the ES, I haven't heard anything good about Lexus's cars in 5 years. Like they're just sort of there. They're fine. They go.
They exist.
They do a forward and they do a reverse and they
Sometimes
go left,
they
right?
turn.
But that's it. Like they haven't achieved, at least is kind of what.
Yeah,
I've
that's
heard.
a good point. I don't know. I was kind of bummed because you said let's judge harshly, and I was expecting to judge harshly, but
I thought there would be more to judge harshly about.
I agreed with the vast majority of that. I had no problem with.
Yeah, it's kind of a false start there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Except for I got to say the weirdest overall choice might be the Telluride being the car of the
Yeah,
of
that
the
one's
year.
a stretch.
That
one's a stretch.
I entirely see why it would win its category.
Yeah.
But best overall?
What's your car of the year?
Oh, spring it on me.
Well, I don't have an easy answer. Well, that's not true. I do have an easy answer. My car of the year is the N. The Veloster N absolutely blew my tits off.
I can't get over the phrase.
It's amazing. I didn't even get to drive it. I was just riding in the car, and it's incredible.
I would probably stick under the same umbrella. I would go with one of the Genesis. I mean, not new for this
The
year.
70 was the new. Was new.
Yeah, the new one.
Well, was that new for this year? Yeah, it was.
Are we talking about best new car this year?
Or just car of the year.
I would say new car.
Then,
Or
yeah, probably.
car that is made this year,
Okay, yeah.
as these things go, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the G70 is high on my list. I would say I spent a lot of time actually after we discussed in our episode looking into the RAV4.
Oh
Just
God!
because I was curious about like all the different trim levels and
Yeah.
like I think it's got some mad crazy colors this year and
True.
like not that makes it the best car, but it was interesting to like flip through the configurator. And I guess if we're saying what is my car that I like the most this year, I would probably say the G70. If I were rating it for, real consumer advice, I'd say probably you could do a lot worse with your money and your time than going out to buy a RAV4.
I totally agree, and it kind of hurts to say it a little bit just because of how normie that car is.
Yeah.
But this is one of the, maybe that should be highlighted simply because this is one of the super rare occasions where everyone has made a consensus pick and it doesn't suck objectively.
Yes.
Right.
Most things that are popular are bad because they're like lowest common denominator appeal. Mm-hmm. And the RAV4 is just good.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's good all the way around
Yeah.
in lots of ways.
Well, what kind of time are we at?
A little over an hour.
Cool.
Hour 20.
Here's a thing.
I like things.
So, FCA and PSA merger.
Yes.
Did we talk about that briefly?
We did.
We did.
In
Yeah.
the, was it the SEMA episode we talked about a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. So, since then, man. So
We talked about the inventory thing.
yeah, but a little bit more of the specifics of this deal have come out. So
okay.
The proposed merger is $50 billion.
That with a B?
Yeah, 50 billion.
Damn.
Yikes.
Tons of money. But a new challenger has entered the fray in the form of GM, who is fucking pissed
Yeah, aren't they suing somebody's balls off right now?
They are suing the shit out of FCA right now.
Yep. Yeah, I did read that.
Well, here's what happened. So GM was in negotiations with the UAW for 3 weeks.
I think they still are. Is the strike over yet?
I actually don't know. It has to be.
Yes.
It has to
I mean,
be.
I haven't heard anything about it.
But I think from the beginning of the strike to the ratification, I think was no less than 27 days. I think is what it was. It was basically
Okay.
yeah. So after that negotiation and the new contract was ratified by the union and by GM, that was when, just establishing a timeline here, the FCA PSA merger was announced sometime in a week or so in between. And the week after that, GM has gathered hellfire and is throwing it at PSA in the form of a lawsuit, which is seeking, quote, substantial damages. GM is seeking damages from FCA over the allegation that FCA had bribed UAW officials to corrupt the bargaining process and, quote, gain advantages, which would have cost GM in this latest negotiation billions. So here's the thing. The leaders of the UAW just got arrested.
Yep.
They've been getting arrested since before the strike started.
Yep.
They're probably going to get arrested again. Different ones or the same guys again.
Yeah, exactly. So, let me find out. I'll just a little more here. So GM's brief. Here's a direct quote from Auto News. Quote, GM's broadside lays out in forensic detail how FCA allegedly conspired over many years to funnel payments to UAW officials, corrupt the collective bargaining process on wages, and thus secure a competitive advantage. Wow. Part of this was Sergio Marchione conspiring to... in 2015, conspiring to bargain with the UAW with a contract specifically designed to cost GM a ton of money because FCA and GM use a lot of the same parts manufacturers. So the way that, man, this is so crazy. So the allegation goes back to, from GM, goes back to, remember FCA, Sergio said that GM was interested in tying up with FCA. And GM said, no, not interested. Who are you? After that moment is when they're saying this started.
Huh.
None of this, supposedly, is going to derail the merger talks.
How much shit has FCA been accused of, I mean, UAW is just as guilty, and this is both sides, both
complicated.
It's complicated, but like, how much shit do we bring up about FCA paying this kind of fine, and FCA has been
cheating on this, or
emissions? We just talked about.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much shit going on. It's like every couple of months there's something about they're paying this fine, or they've been found guilty of this, or now they're accused of tampering with the auto union, and it's like, if FCA is out there seeking a merger, and I am
any kind of regulator,
well, if I'm if I'm the company that they're in talks to merge with, don't you think all this shit would kind of raise some red flags? Like, maybe I don't want to be involved with people like this.
Well, yes, or okay. Here's my alternate theory. Somehow, $50 billion is a lowball. I know that's like money, but we're just regular people. So maybe
we're not multinational car manufacturers.
Right, maybe $50 billion is a lowball from PSA to FCA, and FCA is taking it as an out to merge and try to mitigate some of this litigation.
Oh, you can't sue me if that company doesn't exist anymore.
Remember, FCA...
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think FCA might be an LLC. like the overarching company when they merged. I think they made it an LLC,
I mean, that makes sense.
which is fucking insane. But
World's largest LLC.
because I'm trying to remember, I mean, that was all like the turmoil of Chrysler / Dodge shutting down, not shutting down, who's going where.
Yes.
But yeah, so that just really stuns me. If the amount, I think we have to take the 50 billion as a lowball, right? Because for PSA to be so unconcerned with something that could effectively, I mean, what would a fine for this be if in fact, you know what? I'm sorry. That it wouldn't be a fine. There may be fines from the government on top of
Yes,
it,
yes.
but this would be a payment, money going to GM
Yeah.
on top of fines, because this would be a federal case at that point.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because it's federal because it's racketeering.
Exactly.
By the way,
Yes.
That's
you're
what that
exactly
is.
right. And interstate commerce,
Yes.
because they were making deals with the union workers, which UAW would be the people in the plants, but possibly also the people doing the actual driving
Yeah.
from these manufacturers,
Right.
who
Like a union driver.
Yeah, who GM is alleging, they FCA set them up to intentionally outcompete.
Yep.
Damn. This seems a lot deeper than I thought initially.
must go deeper.
I mean,
Yet more questions and no answers.
yeah, well, I mean, you'll never find answers here. FCA US LLC.
Wow.
Yeah, and before them, Chrysler was LLC too.
Yep, that was the other part of it.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't even know what an LLC means in terms of litigation like this. I assume at the federal level, they don't really care what kind of business your business is.
Well, it does mean if the action was taken by the business, the individuals who own the business usually are not liable for actions of the
Right.
business.
Correct.
So, like, if you've taken home a bunch of your pay and that money is yours, they can't take it from you, only from the company.
That is correct.
Now, if you personally have been engaged in things like racketeering, and you have actually, as a person, spoken to people and said, "Hey, do this stuff."
Yeah.
that's you doing it, not the LLC, even if
Right.
it's on like behalf of the LLC. So if like you're the head of FCA and somebody has been doing this, even probably if you were aware, the worst they could get you on is like accessory or conspiracy or whatever.
Right.
But they can't actually sue you for that directly, is
Gotcha.
my understanding of it. I'm not a lawyer, but
Right. So technically, this would be GM, however they do business in America, versus FCA US LLC. That's the name that they do business in America under.
yes.
So and so far as the data's come out or info's come out, there's no specific mention of people at FCA. They're just saying FCA did this. So that would be the money coming from the LLC as opposed to anyone at the company.
Yes.
And plus, I don't think you can sue Sergio because he's RIP.
Correct. Also that.
If
Nuts.
this is
Just-
true, that is a deep conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. Well,
It's not a conspiracy.
I mean, in the broadest terms, it is still. These are all allegations. Blah 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 blah. Wouldn't that be so crazy if, after Sergio came out and said, "We're going to merge GM," and Mary Barra said, "No," he was like, "Well, we'll just see, won't we?"
No.
Sitting on top of that tower in downtown Detroit. You shall not.
Exactly. And that was when FCA was doing a hella bad.
Yes.
That's when they had nothing. That was before the Jeep upswing, wasn't it? There was
Yes.
like no momentum. They didn't have anything.
Correct. Crazy.
Yeah, I am going to be watching that like a hawk.
I've got more kind of backdoor corruption type stuff.
Ooh, hell yeah.
If we swing back to motorsports,
Let's do it.
we're going to talk about WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. We all know it. The Corkscrew, legendary road course out on the West Coast.
Indeed.
Did you know that plot of land where the racetrack is actually a county park?
Huh? I
So
did not know
Owned
the
by
count,
Monterey, right?
Monterey County
Yep.
owns that property. They do nothing with the actual management of the events.
Sure.
So they hire companies in to do that. And for the longest time, it's been this company called Scramp. That is the acronym, and it's awesome. I forget what it actually stands for.
Right.
But they've been the ones managing the events at the track. So they're responsible for the IMSA, IndyCar coming back. Well, actually, IndyCar before, now coming back. They've been there for like 30, 40 years.
Yes, I haven't looked up. I think it's Sports Car Racing
Association of the Monterey Peninsula?
Yeah,
Yeah, there
yep.
it is.
I couldn't think of the last word until you had it, but yeah, it's Monterey, and then
Peninsula.
Scramp.
Scramp.
LLC, probably.
Right.
no, they're a nonprofit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
503? 501?
I don't know.
Anyway, their contract was up, and bids have come in from other organizations to take over the management of the facility. So that presenting to the county board votes on it, yada, yada.
Of course.
Scramp was a part of it. This company called Laguna Management, LSM, Laguna Seca Management LLC, was just started by a gentleman named Chris Pook, who is responsible for the Long Beach Grand Prix. So he's a pretty successful race
Right,
promoter.
So you've got
Sure.
two really probably pretty good options of people who've been running this for literally forever, or a guy who does have a fair amount of motorsport, running experience.
Right.
And then there was a third company, third LLC, A&D Narigi, or Narigi, Narigi.
Sure.
The paperwork was filed for the LLC within a week of the proposals being made to the county.
Okay.
It is an LLC of one person,
Oh, God.
a hotel manager from a hotel on the peninsula.
Sure.
They won.
Uh-oh.
The backstory here is the best part.
Do you want to go into it, or should I?
I can part of it. I think there's
I feel like you've been quiet this whole episode, man.
This guy Narigi,
Narigi, however you pronounce
his sons were actually killed in a automobile accident on the property
it. Of Laguna Seca.
of
Like they
Laguna
were
Seca.
leaving one
Well,
of the
I think
races.
One was killed. One was very badly injured.
Oh, God.
And they were leaving the track. And
That's what the A and D were
Are
the
his
first
sons'
the
names.
first initials of his two sons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of twisted.
He had been pursuing a lawsuit against Monterey County until
Oh, Jesus.
he dropped the suit just before they approved his company to run it.
Oh, what the f...
And he rakes in a gigantic salary for doing nothing.
He is $289,000 a year he's going to make. Well,
to have
not
his-
doing nothing because the company is supposed to manage these events.
Right, no.
Like he's supposed to run an IndyCar race
Right, but
and an
he's
IMSA
not.
show.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it's his salary alone is that much.
Right.
They're going to pay
Right.
the company more to actually supposedly manage all this
But the
stuff in
company
there.
is
Gotcha.
him.
Right, but
It's
know,
one person.
At
Right.
the moment.
right.
So you've got a company that has been there for 30 plus years. You've got another company that has successfully run other races for over 50 years. And then you've got the guy who's been a hotel manager and started a company a week before the bidding process who was suing you. And that's who the county went with to manage
This-
the long-term. It's like a 3-year deal
Yeah.
to run IndyCar race, IMSA race. Is MotoGP still there?
I don't know.
And then they still have
yes.
the Vinit, the Concours d'Elegance
They
is
do,
there, and
yes.
isn't the Porsche reunion there? That's a huge
Usually.
event.
Yep.
All of those things run by a guy who has had nothing to do with motorsports until the last 7 days.
I mean...
That is just
You violated the law.
that's just a payoff.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're paying off his lawsuit, and
God damn.
but they're putting in jeopardy legitimate events that bring legitimate money to the county and to the area.
Right.
And a stop on IMSA's schedule, date equity. IndyCar just came back after like a 15-year absence last year. And they crowned their champion there. It's the last race of the season.
But how can they risk all of that for
I don't know.
I mean,
So the guy names his LLC after the initials of his two sons.
creepy and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Also blatant. If you're trying to be
Oh, and then
low,
also, didn't he contribute to the campaign funds for like some of the county seats?
Yes.
oh shit. Okay.
He submitted like $500 to this person's reelection campaign and $2,000 to this person's reelection campaign, and all of these people were on the board that voted on this.
Yeah, we got to hit him.
Stop! You violated the law.
That's illegal. You
Hit him with that again. Yeah.
Yeah, it is an absolute sham. And as just a diehard motorsports fan, to put a track of this stature in that kind of jeopardy
So,
is just, I'm so mad.
But also-
I'm so mad.
also that track just did a major rebrand.
Yes.
I
I can't imagine WeatherTech is happy at all.
no, and we all know that.
I don't think
have
old
anger
Mr.
issues.
Penske's going to be too happy with it either.
We've seen how aggressive the WeatherTech drivers get when they're getting stymied.
That's true.
But no, how? Like, I just have so many questions.
I think this came out after it had already been like approved.
Right.
Like,
Nobody knew.
Yeah, I first
Damn.
read
Well, except
it.
for the bidders.
Or I first read the.
They were informed, hey, no,
Gotcha.
after it had already been signed.
Oh, God.
And that's when I think Scramp made a big deal out of it.
Scramp made a big deal out of it, and Marshall Pruitt,
Yes.
the one and only, road course reporter
Yeah.
of all time, lives in Northern California. That's like his home track. So he put an article out on Racer just called "The Sham That Is Blah Blah Blah." And he's like,
Damn.
Yep.
oh, it was a.
That's
it
the
was
one
a,
I- that's the
yeah,
one
the one
I
I
read.
read too. It's like
Yeah.
it's a scathing piece, and he was talking about it, and he put it out, and I think his opening sentence is like, "The vote is coming down today as I'm posting this, and this is how it's going to go, and then here's why." And he's got like images of legal. I don't know how he got him. He did investigative reporting on this and got like images of documents of campaign contributions and all this other shit.
FOIA, man.
Like he is exposing it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But, oh, man. How do you get to this place? And how do you do it so blatantly and not expect repercussions?
This is America.
No other explanation.
Remember this.
Don't get you slipping.
Yes, also that.
Well, they were slipping. And it seems like they kind of got caught. Wow.
So yeah, that's happening.
Damn. Okay. There's so much stuff happening. Also, I mean, we didn't even get a chance to really go into it. We haven't had a Ghost and Watch alert in a while, but he finally got to talk to his wife for the first time since he was imprisoned.
Oh
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that wasn't happening.
They are not fucking around with this guy, and they never have been.
No, I knew that. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember, she's one of his alleged co-conspirators.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Brutal. But we don't even have time for any of that.
No, we gotta get out of here. It's crazy.
Dang.
So much is going to happen, you guys. And how far are we? How long till the roar, Nick?
Oh,
I just saw it. It's
first
not-
weekend in January. So
It's not that far.
Month and a half.
yeah, 40, 50 days.
I thought maybe I saw like 7 weeks or something like that on Twitter.
to the opening test.
Yeah.
Yep.
7 weeks to the roar before the 24th. That's nuts.
10
it
weeks. 10 weeks till the race.
Oh yeah.
10 weeks
Jeez.
until I get to pull another all nighter. Oh yeah,
excited.
I'm ready.
I might try it this year.
You're not gonna make it.
Well, no, but
I barely made it in college.
Yeah, we've done a few of them all together.
Yeah.
I can always just go to bed and then
Wake up.
wake up and watch more racing.
That's true.
We'll see.
That's true.
All right.
Okay, everybody.
And this was to be our last episode, but I mean, there was just too much news.
There was too much. We're
Nothing
probably
but
gonna have to come
news.
back with another one before the winter's over.
Just a little wrap up, a little something.
somewhere down the line. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us for this full hour and a half plus.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this one's been a marathon.
Chatting shit.
Yeah, so we appreciate you sticking with us for this and every episode that you tune into. But we don't want you just to listen, okay? We want you to reach out. We want you to get in contact with us. Our friend Sean from Southern California just got back in touch with us. Thank you, Sean. We haven't forgotten about your episode requests. We're just trying to figure out the best way to frame it up. And
See the email I sent you last night.
And it's
Yeah.
super intimidating because like he's on Instagram like riding dirt bikes and doing all this crazy shit, and it's like, oh, he knows what he's talking about. and
Yeah,
we
that's what
don't.
I told him in the email I sent. I said, we do want to do a dirt episode, but we feel like we have to base it on more knowledge. So
Yeah.
we're working on it.
Yep, so we'll get to it, sir. We're not ignoring you.
And
We're
thanks
just
for the email, by the way.
Yeah,
It's like,
for real. That was awesome.
Felt great, man. Thank
So
you.
everyone else, be like Sean. Reach out to us.
That's right.
Okay? Let us know what you like, what you don't. Give us episode ideas. Sean did all of this. He's a model citizen.
There's like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like getting our entire 2021 season started.
holding us down.
Gotta give him a writer's credit.
We should.
We really should.
So you can reach out to us via email, like he did, right? Was he?
It was, yep.
So that was inbox@checkenginepodcast.com. Or you can reach us on social. We're on Facebook at Check Engine Podcast. Andrew, you mentioned earlier, the Twitter is.
Yeah, Check Engine Pod. Find me doing all sorts of fuckery.
That's if that's not enough to get you there, I don't know what else.
I'm sold.
Tristan, what's our Instagram?
Also at Check Engine Pod.
So find us there, reach out, talk to us.
It's just going to be the Instagram's just going to become.
You know what would be a great
my Sonic OC fan page.
You know what would be a great wrap-up episode? If we answer listener questions.
Send
Questions.
Come on.
We have all sorts of DMs and emails, and we will soon have a mailing address. You can send us actual mail. Please, no anthrax.
Please no.
Oh, yeah. So that's coming too. Stay tuned. If you're really into what we're doing and you want to give us a little bit of something, little cash to help grow this tiny little podcast, we'd greatly appreciate it. We have a Patreon page, patreon.com/checkenginepodcast, or there is a support button right on our home base, anchor.fm/checkenginepodcast. If you don't want to do that, that's cool. We get it. But you can at least find it in your heart to give us a review or click that subscribe button. Helps us out greatly. Doesn't cost you anything. It's a win-win for everybody. Before we take off, any specific thank yous we're giving out today?
Yeah. I will thank Tristan because I had a moment of realization.
Oh, boy. I know where this is going.
No,
too.
you really don't. You really don't. The other day, I saw a GIF of a dolphin poking a pufferfish, and I realized that's kind of the way I message Tristan with constantly annoying shit.
Well, and the funny part is the similarity goes even further because you know what they're doing
No,
when they poke the pufferfish?
what?
They're smoking them.
What?
So
Oh, yeah, you didn't-
They release this like stress hormone thing that
The
gets
dolphins
the
get
dolphins
high off of the pufferfish.
So I freak out and send you ruthlessly angry shit, and you love it, and you get high off of it. It's exactly the perfect metaphor.
It's true. Accidentally perfect. I was just laughing because it looked hilarious.
No, dolphins are getting stoned.
That's dumb.
Yeah,
Who's the first dolphin that figured that out?
probably one that accidentally poked a pufferfish.
Yeah, and couldn't figure out what happened after that.
Yeah.
Crazy. Tristan, are you thanking anybody?
I'd like to thank an object or an idea of an object.
The concept of an
The file type .gif.
GIF.
I wanted to leave that debate out of this evening, but yes, it is
It's
GIF.
GIF.
Not between you and me, between us and the universe. Simply because it is the most evolved form of pictogram,
Super true.
and allows us to come full circle twice on our types of communication. And it conveys such weight of emotion and thought and sentiment, and is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep.
Put me on the spot. I would like to thank My
You
love.
put yourself on the spot.
I
You
did.
said, anybody to thank? Myself? I don't know.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
just
don't
took
know.
10 minutes.
I don't know. My I'd like to thank my girlfriend tonight. She is. We had it was a late change of plans where I had some family coming into town, and she was supposed to come here like she normally does for the recording, but I couldn't have my cousins just sitting at my place for 2 hours by themselves. So I just told her, hey, go meet them there and I'll catch up with you guys later. So thanks for taking one for the team, Claire.
Nice. Good work.
And thanks to all the listeners, like I said earlier. We appreciate you guys tuning in, sticking with us through these long marathon episodes. Even if we suck, you guys are awesome. Because of that, we can't wait to talk to you again, whenever that may be, hopefully one more time this winter. Until then, take care.
Oh, and happy Thanksgiving.
And happy
Indeed,
Thanksgiving,
because we'll
happy
have to be back
holidays,
before then.
All that stuff.
all that good stuff. Stay safe.
Slap
Take
your
care.
uncle.